Right now, police in Waterloo are updating their investigation into a multiple stabbing incident yesterday, which is being called a hate-motivated attack. Let's listen.
Chief Mark Kroll will be providing an update on the investigation. Also present is James Rush, Vice President, Academic and Provost, and Karen Redmond, Regional Chair and Chair of the Waterloo Regional Police Services Board. After prepared remarks have been provided, we will allow questions from the media regarding the investigation. Chief Kroll.
Thanks, Andre. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you all for joining today as we provide an update into the major incident that took place yesterday on the campus of the University of Waterloo. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the victims of the attack, all the students, faculty, staff, and the University of Waterloo community who are affected by these senseless acts of violence. On behalf of the Waterloo Regional Police Service, we denounce all forms of hate in Waterloo Region and beyond, and we stand with those who are targeted by these crimes. I also want to take a moment to thank all those emergency services personnel who responded to the critical incident yesterday, including Waterloo Region Paramedic Services and the University of Waterloo Special Constable Services. Members of our Integrated Mobile Police and Crisis Team, IMPACT, those are our partners with the Canadian Mental Health Association, were on scene on campus throughout the evening yesterday and remain engaged throughout campus providing support. Today we are announcing that we have arrested Geovanny Villalba-Aleman, a 24-year-old male who was an international student at the University of Waterloo who recently graduated. He has been charged with the following offenses: 3 counts of aggravated assault, 4 counts of assault with a weapon, 2 counts of possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose, and mischief under $5,000. Mr. Villalba-Aleman was held in police custody overnight. A court appearance was held today and may still be ongoing, and we have recommended that he be remanded in custody. I want to take some time to walk through our investigation to date and provide some clarity on the circumstances that led to the devastating violence that occurred yesterday. At 3:37 p.m., our communications center received multiple 911 calls from students at the University of Waterloo advising that people inside a classroom had been stabbed. Thankfully and proudly, members of the Waterloo Regional Police Service immediately responded and arrested the suspect to quickly restore public safety and calm. Members of the WRPS Neighborhood Policing North Division Patrol were immediately dispatched to the university campus. The first officer arrived on scene within 3 minutes at 3:40 p.m. Officers were directed inside of Haggie Hall, where the stabbings had occurred, and they located the accused male within the building and placed him under arrest without further incident. Officers were initially the accused had posed to be a victim. However, officers quickly identified him and placed him under arrest once he was identified based on the description provided. Since our initial response, we have learned more information in regards to exactly what occurred. WRPS investigators have determined that the accused specifically targeted a gender studies class in Haggie Hall at approximately 3:30 p.m. The accused was not a member of the class, but spoke with the professor in the classroom before attacking her with 2 large knives without provocation. Several students attempted to stop the attack, while others fled the room. While students were trying to escape, the accused stabbed 2 students and attempted to stab a 3rd student who was not physically injured. As a result of the attack, the following physical injuries were reported. The involved professor, a 38-year-old female, sustained serious but not life-threatening injuries from the stab wounds and was transported to an out-of-region hospital. 2 students within the class were injured. A 20-year-old female sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries from stab wounds and was transported to an out-of-region hospital as well. And a 19-year-old male sustained non-life-threatening injuries as a result of stab wounds and was transported to a local hospital. In terms of the investigation that has been conducted thus far, investigators have reason to believe that this was a planned and targeted attack motivated by hate related to gender expression and gender identity. I'd like to stress that the investigation remains underway and some details have not yet been clarified. We appreciate your collective patience while this occurs. We have since sought judicial authorization to search the suspect's home to further our investigation. At this point, there's no information to suggest that the suspect coordinated with anyone else in carrying out this attack. At this point, our investigators are not ruling anything out. in understanding the motivations behind this incident. And as always, we work closely with other policing and public safety partners, however necessary. The WRPS Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Unit has conducted outreach with effective community partners across Waterloo Region. It is both sad and disturbing that this incident has occurred during Pride Month, a time where we celebrate and recognize members of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community. We hope that this incident does not diminish from these celebrations, but instead encourages us all to come together, to continue to celebrate and continue to inspire love over hate. Again, we extend our sincere condolences to all those impacted by this senseless act of hatred. Our members will continue to work tirelessly on this investigation to ensure that no further harm or threat exists and to bring closure to victims, the University of Waterloo, and the entire Waterloo Region community. Once again, I'd like to thank all members of the Waterloo Regional Police Service and all responding community partners who have worked closely with the university towards a safe resolution to this dynamic and traumatic incident. After we hear from Chair Karen Redman, who is the chair of our Police Services Board and chair of the Regional Waterloo Region, I will be available to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. I first want to acknowledge that our hearts are with the entire University of Waterloo today, and I am especially thinking of the professor and the students in that class. On behalf of the Regional Council, I am wishing for a speedy recovery for all victims, as well as healing for all within the University of Waterloo community. Please know you have my support and the support of the entire Waterloo region. As chair of both the Region of Waterloo and the Waterloo Regional Police Service Board, I would like to start by acknowledging the incredible response by our first responders to yesterday's horrific attack. I'm thankful for how WRPS and other emergency services personnel quickly apprehended the suspect and provided immediate support to victims. Like everyone, I read the news of what happened yesterday with shock, horror, and a great deal of sadness. This community has been my home for my entire life, and I am proud that we are known internationally as a safe, welcoming, and inclusive place. Yesterday's violence is not Waterloo Region. It is not the community that we call home. This incident is a tragic reminder during Pride Month that as we celebrate our progress, the safety and well-being of some in our community is still in question. Today, we are one community standing strong behind you, and we hope for a quick recovery and healing. As this investigation is ongoing, I know WRPS will be thorough and meticulous. And again, I want to thank the staff, students, and community at the University of Waterloo for their response and the greater community for its support. While this is a shocking and horrific act, it must be denounced. We must make it exceptionally clear that hate or prejudice in any form is unacceptable. Gender-based violence undermines the dignity and the rights of all residents. Let's use our collective voice to speak out, promote inclusion, and recommit to the necessary and critical work to create a safe, welcoming, and inclusive community for absolutely everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Kroll, and thank you, Chair Redman. We will now open the floor up for any questions that you may have.
Chief Simon Bingley from CBC News. You mentioned the hate and the gender. Can you give us a bit more about that? And I noticed you also mentioned, especially since it's Pride Month, did it have anything to do with the gay community? So the details we're forming right now. So we're being careful, but also quite direct, and we believe this was a targeted, specific attack related to gender expression and gender identity. And so, in absolutely, we're for the 2S LGBTQ+ community, we believe was targeted sort of broadly and at large here. We don't believe that the individuals themselves were targeted for that purpose, but we believe that the class subject was of interest to the suspect, and that was the origins of what's transpired. You said he carried 2 knives?
And we've been listening to an update on the stabbing at the University of Waterloo.